They need to self-publish their books, which are ignored by mainstream academia and never really become huge sellers, no matter how groundbreaking and accurate the theories are. This is in no small part due to the disconcerting fact that people are conditioned from birth to not listen to their own judgment and rather look to authority figures when they are trying to find out the truth about important issues. This is a matter for another talk, but briefly I will mention that the education system, all the way up from kindergarten to universities, is just one mass brainwashing operation, even if this is difficult to discern in the beginning. Like I said, listen without bias and think about what you heard a week later to see if it makes sense. The key is to pretend it's all true first and then look around you for about a week. Look at the news, read the newspapers, look at how people behave, etc., etc. And compare what you've observed to what I say here, and then you'll most probably realize that this info was indeed channeled correctly. It's the same process with me as well. It doesn't make a difference if I'm the one who channeled it in the first place. Whenever I come up with this stuff, the info is new to me as anyone who's hearing it. So it takes me a while to see how self-evident it all really is. I don't just believe it straight away. So the key is to absorb it without resisting it first, and then look around in the real world to see whether it fits with what is happening. So basically the big issue that causes the whole resistance to these ideas is the fact that we're groomed from birth to adulthood in this belief system that we call education. It is a belief system and nothing more. They are giving us only a small version of reality and keeping other information secret deliberately. Do not believe for a moment that maybe the elite themselves are perhaps deluded as well. This is not the case. What is happening is that at the very highest levels of power, the people there know that what we are taught at school is at best incomplete. They have advanced knowledge that is kept only for them, and they know they are teaching us the wrong stuff or the incomplete picture anyway. It's just knowledge, that's all, and they hoard it in order to use it against us. It's very simple. There's no notion of black magic and occult powers here, really. Not in the way we're being led to believe, anyway. See, this Illuminati group is usually presented by conspiracy writers as being these dark wizards who eat little children and have unbelievable magical powers, who yet in public seem like benevolent intellectuals. You know, it's something like real-life Senator Palpatines from the Star Wars prequels. While it is true that that is what they are, and George Lucas is able to warn us of this because he has become completely financially independent from the Hollywood system, this dark side we are all so afraid of isn't really that scary. A big part of this writing is to completely demystify black magic, or the dark side, and explain it logically or scientifically, if you will. People fear what they don't understand. So by explaining it properly, the fear will gradually diminish in people's minds. The notion of magic is actually not that supernatural at all if presented the right way. In fact, all the occult is hidden knowledge about how the mind works, about how the universe works. That's all it ever was. All that these families have done is kept knowledge from the public, knowledge that matters most, the knowledge of the higher realms. There's always been wisdom floating around for thousands of years that plainly points to all of this, yet it has always been fought or ridiculed or even outright suppressed, as in the days of the Inquisition when they set out to stamp any advanced knowledge out of existence. Within the writings of various mystics, sages, and philosophers which resemble the advanced knowledge that these evil families have preserved in their archives, we find snippets of amazing wisdom which is very empowering. One of the most profound truths which has ever come out of the mouths of the sages is that, quote-unquote, it is all in the mind, or mind over matter, or however you want to word it. It doesn't matter who first came up with this idea. Indeed, there were many who espoused this idea of mind over matter. The important thing is that this is the highest occult wisdom that ever leaked into mainstream society. These families that we call the Illuminati would have given anything in order to keep this out of public view. So there were always snippets of advanced knowledge leaking out, and they created various wisdom traditions which inevitably were forced to go underground. This is how we get a never-ending number of secret societies and brotherhoods appearing during the height of the Inquisition, which later influenced the Enlightenment era. And though it may sound strange, many of these societies actually had nothing to do with the Illuminati and were not and are not affiliated with these families who, in a very real sense, own the world. You may be shocked to discover then who the real Illuminati were and are. They were actually the powers that formed and controlled the church. Many people will find this controversial in the extreme, but the sad fact of the matter is that if there really is this group of elites that wants to control the masses, mainly via suppression of advanced knowledge, an organization like the Roman Catholic Church would be the ultimate tool for them to do this. This is why I ask you again and again to take all this in without resistance first, and let it sink in a week later. It is shocking to anyone, whether Christian or not. Now, as a very, very interesting side note, I'm compelled to mention that movie Angels and Demons based on the Dan Brown book. The incredible thing is that what they show in that is that there is the Illuminati, which is the enemy of the church, and the church is their polar opposite force. This is a ruse of incredible proportions. Just sit back and look at the timing of all this. Why is Hollywood bringing a movie like that out now, so close to 2012? What is really going on here? Like I said, I will not bother with proving that this Illuminati clan, for that is what they are, a clan more than a group, own Hollywood and use it as a tool to direct the masses. David Icke and friends has already done that. We take it as a given that Hollywood is a tool of theirs and second only to the power of religion. So we have this blockbuster movie coming out just when the knowledge about the Illuminati is about to become mainstream, just when we are about to achieve critical mass on these issues. Is that not strange? We are told in this reading that the Illuminati and the church are in fact the same force, yet in the movie it is shown that the Illuminati are the good guys who are trying to bring back logic and science, as opposed to the church's system of blind faith. This is a fantastic ruse that could fool millions into either leaving the church or disregarding the real truth about the Illuminati tribe when and if they come across it. It is actually frightening what power they wield through Hollywood. It is like it has taken the place of the collective consciousness's mind. They direct the collective mind of the public via Hollywood. The power is awesome beyond belief, and the reason is that they use secrets about how the mind works. They use them against us. And that is the reason they do not wish this information to be taught in schools. Do you see? Even though an entire book can be written about how Hollywood controls the mind of the masses, I will briefly say this. It is basically a mass hypnosis operation. It is mass, worldwide hypnosis. The insidiousness is shocking beyond belief. Orwell's 1984 isn't something that might potentially happen. It has been happening for decades. And Hollywood is the main tool. We will talk of Hollywood and the workings of the mind in great depth another time though. All I can say now is that this movie, Angels and Demons, is extremely suspect in light of the above info, because to be fair to the creator and to Jesus, who did in fact exist, when movies like these are suggesting that the church is bad, this is not a good thing at all. While through this reading we are being told the shocking truth that it is an Illuminati-created institution, if a person does not know this, however, going against the church would equate with going against God in most people's minds. And when I say God, I actually mean God, not Jesus, who was a separate being, of course. He was a highly evolved divine man, the most evolved, but he was a man. So anyway, do you see the ingeniousness of a plot like this? The insidiousness? It is diabolical. It's as if the church served the dual purpose of first entrapping the masses and preventing them from learning the advanced knowledge that would empower them, and more recently, it is being used to discredit the existence of God completely and turn people into atheists. In the said movie, the Illuminati are apparently scientists that wish to oppose the dogmatic blind faith of the church and replace it with rational scientific thinking. What an ingenious plot to make us believe that the materialist scientists are actually the good guys. This way, we can't win. Do you see how they've played us? It's a bit tricky, but this is how it goes. If you're a devout believer, then you'll never accept those crazy Eastern ideas of mind over matter or that evil belief in reincarnation, etc., etc. So these guys, the religious people, have already been trapped in this way. But they believe in a higher power at least. However, if you're on the opposite camp, the same side as the Illuminati as we are told in the movie, it is probably even worse in the end because the ultimate conclusion to this materialistic scientific thinking is atheism. The Illuminati families wish to convert us all into humanism and atheism. It has been attempted a number of different ways through communism, through education, and now through Hollywood and science in general. The astonishing fact is that they themselves know the philosophy of humanism is the furthest from the truth that anything could possibly be, yet if you look around you, you will see it being promoted everywhere. In the education system, on TV shows, in movies. These hidden controllers are exceedingly desperate, it seems, to have us believe in only what our five senses can observe. This is abundantly clear. Even if it sounds strange the first time, think about it in a week or so and it will all fit.